Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you're here today. You know, I usually talk about jazz records, but my other undying love, which goes much deeper in my soul than jazz, is probably a love of the Beatles. I have all of the Beatles records. I have original first pressings from England, from Germany, all over the place, as well as all the new remasters, the Sgt. Pepper remaster, the White Album remaster, all the mono stuff, yada yada yada. And I'm very excited to be talking to you today. I'm going to unbox the new Revolver remix. Now this is unlike any other Beatles remix ever. I did an interview with Giles Martin, George Martin's son, who did the remaster and the remix of the new Revolver album, based on technology that began with Peter Jackson when he did the redo of the Get Back film. And Giles got this new technology that began with Peter Jackson, where basically they're using artificial intelligence, because the Revolver was done on 2-track, I believe. So using AI to extract all the instruments and all the vocals, they achieved the kind of depth and physicality and space around images that you would not get in any other way. Now I heard these at they did a play session at a studio in Midtown, Revolution Studios, I can't remember. It was a 7.1.4 mix, the 4 being in the ceiling. So tracks like Tomorrow Never Knows, you know, you had all those backward sounds of seagulls, the guitars flying overhead, as well as the group up front and background vocals behind you. It was just startling, even though the system, and this is interesting, Giles Martin is an audiophile, because I told him after we did the interview that I didn't think the sound of this studio, I think it's Revolution, I can't remember, was very good. It was pretty horrible, actually. They were using a full JBL system. Modern JBL equipment, I'm sorry, just doesn't sound very good. It was all JBL amps and JBL speakers, and the bass was really, really murky. There was no delicacy, there was no refinement, there was nothing very clean about the mix, played back through that big system. And he said, "You're absolutely right, Giles Martin." He said, "I spent like 2 hours EQing it to try to get a decent sound." Now at his home studio where he does all his own work, he told me he has a Vertier turntable, which is a very expensive turntable, and PMC speakers, which are British speakers, known for, I think they're probably active speakers. But it was good to know that he's an audiophile like many of you who watch his channel. I did the Giles Martin interview for the upcoming issue of Stereophile magazine. So I just received my box today from Jennifer Ballantyne, who has been the publicist for all of the Beatles reissue campaign. She's really sweet. And I know Michael Fremer beat me to the punch this morning, but I didn't get mine until this afternoon. So let's unbox this puppy, as they say. This is very exciting. I have no idea what's in here. Well packaged, good styrofoam. Whoa, check it out. New stereo mix by Giles Martin and Sam O'Kell, who worked on the previous stuff. 2 session LPs of outtakes, rehearsals, demos, and studio chat. Studio chat. Isn't it studio chatter? Isn't that what it should be? Original 1966 mono LP. He didn't touch the original mix, which is interesting. 180 gram vinyl, plus 7-inch bonus EP with paperback, Rider and Rain, and new stereo mixes and original mono. 100-page hardback book with a foreword by Paul McCartney, extensive historical and track-by-track information, rare photos, and memorabilia. The Beatles Revolver Super Deluxe 4 LP edition. Now there are other editions that are all CDs and Blu-rays, and those are all very exciting, but obviously vinyl is my thing. So let me see how I can take this apart without scratching anything. Made in the Czech Republic. Now I don't know where these were pressed, but made in the Czech Republic must be pressed in the Czech Republic, whatever the studio is over there, the pressing plant. You know, in all the Beatles reissues I've received, I've never had any problems with pressings or anything. So this is cool. Look at that. All the different stuff. Let's go ahead and take those out, and I'll show you what I have piece by piece. This looks to be, this is the original mono mix. It appears to be. Ooh. Beautiful sleeve. Beautiful. The type of plastic sleeve we all like. I don't know the proper name for this, but it's not the thick, you know, plastic that melts on your records. And, you know, looks like a standard issue Parlophone record. 2022, sold in UK subject to resale price conditions. Made in the EU. Wow, so this is a foreign pressing. Wow. This is not a US pressing. Certainly they're not all coming from the US. Here we have, this looks like the same thing to me, lads. Oh, this is the mono PMC 7009. This is the stereo PCS 7009. Nicely done. Oh, wow, now is that cool or what? Very cool. This is 2 LPs with the alternate takes. Backside. Wow. Holy crap. Man. Beautiful. Wow, really beautiful. Wow, right there in Abbey Road Studio 2, and a beautiful 45 paperback Rider Rain. Paperback Rider Rain. Wow, that is really something. And the stock is perfect. And an exact, for the present and the future, EMI record tokens. Use the new Ematex cleaning material. Read the record mail. Isn't that cool? You know, it's interesting. You look at these old records. This is a reprint of an old record. And it's all about keep your records clean. Use the new Ematex cleaning material. Important. Take good care of this high quality EMI record. Check your stylus regularly. A worn stylus will give you a reproduction, poor reproduction, and may damage the record permanently. You know, part of just being a record person in the late 50s up through the 60s was about taking care of your records. It wasn't rocket science. But on here we have 2 versions of Tomorrow Never Knows, take 1 and mono mix, 4 Got to Get You in My Life, 2 Love You 2, 2 Paperback Rider, 2 And Your Bird Can Sing, 4 I'm Only Sleeping. I'm Only Sleeping is one of my favorite Lennon tunes. I can actually play that on guitar. 4 Yellow Submarines, 2 She Said. So that's quite exciting. So this is the 2-disc set of alternate takes. Then the Big Magella, the Beatles Revolver. Wow, man. That is really exciting. Wow. Far out. Man. Oh boy. I'll just take you through some of these photos that they put in here. Classic early mid-period Beatles, black and white. I've seen most of these photos in one place or another. You know, there's a great YouTube channel. I forgot the name of it. If I remember it, I'll put it in the description. This lady gets all these sets of Beatles photos that you've never seen anywhere else. I don't know how she gets them, that you have never seen anywhere else. You know, they're usually sets of like, you know, a day out in Twickenham or whatever. But the photos she gets are just remarkable. Also on the cover, there's like, I don't know if you can see this, but here and here, it's like you can see the Beatles' hair, as in the Klaus Vormann drawing. Now, that's a pretty rare photo. I've never seen that photo before. So a lot of great photos. For any Beatles freak, this is very exciting. Full chapters on each song. Love You Too. Here, there, and everywhere. All the studio settings. Where all the mics were on everything. Yellow Submarine. Just classic. You know, and Revolver is really, I think, the most pivotal album in the Beatles discography, oeuvre, whatever you want to call it, because there's still a fully functioning group. Brian Epstein is still alive. They're still moving forward, and you hear Revolver is really a revolution. Everything else prior to it was more about folk music, more about the past, more about having to deal with being on the road. This is a fully fledged, using the studio as an instrument, like Pet Sounds with the Beach Boys. And each song is so radically different from all the other songs. They're all firing at the top of their game. Even Rain with Ringo, his amazing drumming on Rain, and the experimentation of the record, the beautiful melodies like Here, There, and Everywhere, the fun tracks like Yellow Submarine. Then Tomorrow Never Knows, which is like, an incredible, drugged out Tibetan Book of the Dead mindfuck. And, I've never thought the original Revolution Revolver mix was very good. It always sounded like it was recorded in a tin can. It doesn't sound anywhere near as Rubber Soul, which is a beautiful sounding recording, primarily acoustic. I was listening to the remix of the remaster of Sgt. Pepper's last night, and that sounds great. But Revolver, just on its own, never sounded very good to me. And I've yet to listen to this. I'm just opening it as you're seeing it. There's also a Beatles graphic novel. I don't know what I think of that. I don't know how well that will date. That kind of reminds me of the Beatles animated show. There's an old Revolver ad. But there's another one, 65, an ad for Revolver, and I think that says Yellow Submarine. But this is such a great record. There's a song for every type of Beatle lover, and it's just an amazing work. It's a masterpiece. It's a pivotal, record in the Beatles discography, because after Revolver, we have Sgt. Pepper, which was seen as a major leap at the time, but I don't think has aged as well as people thought it might. And then I also like Magical Mystery Tour, but that's the beginning of the end. You can hear them splitting off. I remember the video for Fool on the Hill. Paul is entirely alone. There's more drug experimentation. And then the White Album pretty much confirms each guy working on his own. And then the bummer of Let It Be, and then the final triumph of Abbey Road, which is the last studio album, which is a masterpiece in its own right. But there's something about Revolver that is so different from all the other records. It has so much nerve and boldness and innovation. And I hope it sounds great, and I'm sure it will. Thanks a lot. Bye.